Welcome to Texas Traveler RC. This is a beautiful Saturday morning. It's actually a little bit chilly here in the garage. I have the fuselage plywood pieces out in front of me. It's going to take just about all my building board to put this fuse together. But before we get started, I've already identified which side I want to use as my right and which side I want to use as my left. And I'm going to go on what would be the inside of those and write what they are. So, well, I say right, I'm just going to put left. You put it on the inside, you don't want to put it on the outside. I mean, you can, but that's going to like if you use white or something and you don't clean all that off, it could possibly show. So I'm going to use this one as my right. This one's my left. This Midwest kit uses a locking style construction where you've got tabs on pieces and then you've got holes in pieces, and it all interlocks together to try to make it easy to build as a kit. But you do want to, as you remove this, if you get to any parts that just don't pop out of the plywood, you do want to take a hobby knife and break those loose. Don't just force it out, because these old kits, they're just die punched. I didn't like the new laser cut kits where the parts just fall out. So you want to take care removing these, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Is I'm going to start removing these from their plywood sheet. Got my hobby knife here just in case I need it. Make sure this all just pops out. Hopefully, looks like this one had a good die, because some of them don't have. Some of them that are die cut, the dies just aren't that good. That one popped out real good. One thing I'll note right off the bat is you get a lot of scrap plywood here. This stuff down here you probably won't be able to use, but at some point you're going to want to make servo trays or reinforce something, or just need some plywood. I mean, this is pretty cheap plywood, but you can take, like, I can cut squares out of this and then laminate it together to make whatever thickness I need, or just to stiffen it up. Set that to the side for now. And we're going to go through here. There's some little parts here. Just little tabs and stuff we can take out. Go. Don't try to force anything. We're not trying to break anything. If we do need to cut something out, we can cut it out. There we go. It slid right out. I'm going to go ahead and take these lightning holes out of here. Popped right out. Again, another good piece of plywood that a lot of people might just throw in the trash. Now this does have the cutout for the wing dowels. I am not going to be using rubber bands to hold this wing on, so I'm going to leave that in, and at a later point I'm probably going to use some CA, probably a medium CA on that, just to lock it in place. That way cover over it and you don't have a big hole there. Anyway, that's the left-hand piece. Looks like the right-hand piece is falling right out. Set that to the side. Again, we've got some little tabs in here that, notice I'm not trying to use my hand, I'm just trying to get in there and see if I can get these to pop out. Just putting, there we go, just put a little pressure on it. Now that one, it did, you probably can't see it, but on the inside it pulled a little plywood off of it, so you always want to go from the outside in. Got another little tab down here that doesn't look like it wants to pop out. There we go. That one's gone. And then we have the lightning holes on this one. They pop right out, and then we've got a control rod tube right here that pops out. I'll save those. And the same with these front fuselage formers. I don't know what these pieces are up here yet, but I am going to take this right here and just see if I can pop it out. It popped out just fine. And instead of setting this to the side over there with my scrap pile, because it's got another piece up on top of it, I'm going to leave it alone. Go ahead. This one has a couple of little notches on the inside. Not using a finger or tool, just pressing lightly with my hobby knife. Those came out just fine. I don't know if you could see this, but I am leaving the dowel hole in there. And I'll set that over there. Same thing with this one. Just going to go from the outside in, just pressing lightly. There we go. There we go on that. Okay, so when you're looking at these instruction books, a lot of times they'll have check boxes on here. I'm bad about not using them, but one thing it does say right here after you do all this is just to lightly sand the edges of all this. So I'm going to take my sanding block, and I'm just going to come down here and knock anything loose off there. I just kind of want to open up the grain. There we go. Try to clean up the little bit of mess we got here on the building board. This building board is actually working out a lot better than I thought it was. I was really nervous about it, but it's doing a really good job. Probably going to, before I get started doing the wing or something like that, definitely going to have to take a shot back after it. Well, I've got the side plans for the fuselage laid out on here, and man, I really don't know why you need to do this. Just looking at the instructions going forward in the instructions, this is a big piece of plywood comparatively to my board. It's in two sections right here, and the first step is just to butt glue these two sections together with slow CA. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my 1, 2, 3 weights right here and glue that section together, weight them down. It tells you in the instructions in a lot of places to use accelerator on this. I'm not going to use accelerator for stuff like this. I'm going to wait till we get into boxing this. I'm going to wait till we get into boxing this fuselage up, and then I'll start using accelerator on it, just to help the build go quicker and be able to lock in when I get it good and square, being able to lock it in. Alright, so I've glued the left side together. I've got the right side here glued together now, and I've got my weights on it waiting for it to dry. I did use just a tad bit of the accelerator, and I can see why they do that now. This thing's kind of wobbly in the middle. There is a doubler that's going to go here, and that's the next thing we're going to put on. When I get that out here in a second, I'll show you guys what I mean. So we have our fuselage sides glued together. The instructions next say to line up this doubler down here with the hole for your landing gear, and then glue that in with thick or medium CA. So not a lot technical to go with this. Like I said, all of this is super simple. A trainer is not only for helping you learn how to fly, but it's also for helping you learn how to build, so they make them really simple to build. Anyway, I'll glue those on and come back when I'm ready to start the next step. Okay, so I've got my doublers put on. I put these weights on there. They're nice and glued on. Still pretty easy going here. Alright, the next step is that we're going to measure out 1/4 inch from the front. Just going to put 2 marks on this, exactly 1/4 inch in. There. Right here. Then we're going to line those up. Go ahead and set my pencil right here. We're going to make a line. And our firewall is going to sit in there. I haven't gone far enough in to the instructions yet, but I'm sure a piece of triangle stock will sit behind there, so the firewall has a place to rest. Okay, so we've marked our lines per the instructions. We're going to center up this 3/8 triangle stock right on the line. We're going to use some CA and glue that in. That's just going to be a support on the back side for the firewall. And once I get that glued in, we'll move on to the next. So our firewall supports are dry. Taking these formers out of the parts. We're not gluing them in right now. It's used for used to help set up this support right here. This is actually to support the dowel that's supposed to go through there to hold the wings, but we're not going to use that. We're not using that dowel, and I'm going to leave that that hole filled. But I am going to go ahead and put this in here because it does provide some support when we glue this in here for this former. So I'll glue these down on both sides and we'll proceed from there. Okay, the next step is we're going to do the same thing that we did to the former at the front of the wing, to the former at the back of the wing, where we're going to add this support in there. Even though we're not using the dowels, we are going to add that support in there just because it gives it a little bit more area to glue to. So I'm going to take thick CA and glue these in place on both sides, and then we'll move on from there. So the next step in this assembly is to take this little tail filler right here and just glue it flush with the end of this, just like that. Not going to take much. Matter of fact, we won't even. Normally I like to put it on the part you're gluing to, but I'll go ahead and put glue on this. Just a little dab and smooth it out. Just like that. So I am going by the instructions, and we're going to go ahead and start boxing this thing up. There's going to be a lot of painter's tape or masking tape that we're going to use to get this thing boxed up. We're going to be fitting pieces in here, and then you'll come back and glue it after that. It is one of the steps where they say in here that we've got to use accelerator. I'm not too thrilled about that, but it is the way this goes together. We'll take this right side and stand it up. We're going to take this left side and stand it up. We're going to get these all evened up. This all evened up. Make sure we've got all of our holes lining up, all of our slots lining up. And then we're going to take, once we're good with all that, and if you notice I'm using these holes right here kind of to clamp it together. So we're going to take one strip of painter's tape. We're going to put that right here. And I'm not folding it over yet because I want to get this in place. Make sure that I'm good and aligned up here. Although this back here won't make that big a deal. So making sure we're all in line. Still all in line. All my slots are lining up with each other. And then I'm just going to take this tape and bend it over to the other side. So the next phase is to take part 4. Okay, so the next phase in mocking this up is we're going to take this tail former back here and we're going to insert it in its slots on both sides. There we go. So I need to take, so after we get this part 4 in, we're going to take this, we're going to turn this up, and then we're going to wrap. It says to wrap the tape through the fuselage. Sorry for my shaking, folks. I have shook all my life. I have something called essential tremor, and I've had to learn to shoot with it. I've had to learn to just deal with it basically all my life. Okay, now we actually got this kind of started sitting up. I didn't do the best tape job there, but it's good enough for government work. It's good enough for this. We haven't started squaring up this thing yet, so here's part 3. This side of part 3 goes down. So we're going to stick that in there. Use a piece of tape across the wing saddle. Easy peasy enough. So we'll come here to the wing saddle. We'll secure that like that with the wide end towards the top. All right. I got to tape this one from the top and the bottom. All right, so this front former, the wide end goes up. Get me a piece of tape here. It's big enough to go across there. It's probably too much, but I'd rather have too much than not enough and have to cut off another piece. So the wide end's up. I'm going to slide this in here. We're going to lock this down. There we go. Kind of like that. So I shake all over the place some more. Then we're going to turn this over. Get us another piece of tape. Come in here like that. We're going to come right here through where the landing gear will be glued in. Now we've got this kind of mocked up how it's going to be. Really coming back and gluing this is, these trainers really go together quick. You can see we're getting this framed up. Alright, so the next piece we're going to fit into here will be the very top cap right here. Make sure all that fits in there. This fits in the slots there. So we're locking in this top piece. put a piece of tape right here. Make sure you pull this all tight if you're following along with this build. Setting up just a little bit. There we go. This other side. That's in there. That one's in there. Man, this thing is really starting to come together. All right, the next piece is part 8. It's going to go right in here. Say it's going to go right in here. There we go. There we go. And I think it just calls for one piece of tape over all that. See where I'm at now. Go one piece of tape right across the middle of this thing. All right, now we're going to flip back over to the bottom. Back over to the bottom. And we are going to put the bottom in. We're going to start back here at the back and work our way forward. Just taping as we go, like we did on the other side. Pinch this together right here. Put some tape down right there. And that one's ready. Alright. Put my tape right there. Just keep on walking up. It doesn't say to put tape here, I'm just doing that because that's a pretty long span right there and I want to keep that down and together. Just going to put some pieces right there. We're going to get up here and this is going to need to lay down. So I'll put tape on this side, lay it down. Get that together. Put the tape on this side. Fast. Just trying to get to a point to where I can actually do get this thing gluing and get this thing going. Because we're going to have to take a little break when it gets close to getting the engine ready to go up. Because we're going to have to rebuild the engine that we are going to use on this, and I don't want to get to a point where I'm like, oh dang, it's time to put the engine in and we don't have one that's a workable solution, if you know what I mean. I've got multiple engines that I can fly this with, but I have one in mind in particular, my Enya 84 stroke, that we're going to have to rebuild, put bearings in. I'm going to be doing some tests with my ultrasonic cleaner and some cleaning solutions. Just back, because next we're going to go up here and we're going to put this floor for our fuel tank and whatever else we got to fit up here. Make sure this all fits in right. So we're going to put some tape across the front to hold that in. Still working up here on the front. Just like we did on that back piece on the front. We're going to have to put in a slot and put on some tape. Put in a slot and put on some tape. So we use that together, make sure it's all down. Put on some tape. Get that together. I'll put that over there for when I start gluing it. All right, we're going to flip it back over on its bottom. See, we got in just that short amount of time, we've got this thing almost, the fuselage almost mocked up. We've got one more piece we got to tape to the top. Now we can't throw this away because this is going to be a hatch, so we can access our fuel tank and batteries and that stuff. I believe this goes down here. So that's exactly how that goes. I know it looks ugly with all this tape on there, but we have this completely mocked up, framed up. The next step will be gluing this all together. We're going to check to make sure that we don't have any twists in the tail or anything like that. And when I come back to see y'all again, we'll start gluing it together.